Ms. Harris, have you ever testified in court before?
No.
Okay, I'm going to give you a quick blueprint of what's going to happen. I'm going to ask you some questions. Lawyers for the state are going to ask you some follow-up questions, and then I'll come back and ask you some more, and then you'll be on your way. Does that sound all right?
Yes.
Okay. How old are you?
44.
Do you live in Minnesota?
Yes.
How long have you lived in Minnesota?
Since I was 3, but I took a year off.
Where were you on your year off?
St. Louis, Missouri.
When did you move back to Minnesota?
This year.
Did you like St. Louis?
It was okay.
Why did you move back here?
To come back with my family.
So you said you have family here. Do you have any siblings here in Minnesota? What are their names?
Marvina, Cynthia, Marquita, and little Marvin.
Is your brother Petitioner Marvin Haynes? Is Petitioner Marvin Haynes your brother in this?
Yes.
Is he older or younger than you?
Younger.
Okay, Ms. Harris, I want to now take you to the day of May 16th, 2004. How old were you in May of 2004?
Around 25.
May 16th was the day of the shooting of Harry Sherer. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
This day was about 20 years ago, so how do you remember it so well?
Because it was a tragedy, Mom.
It's okay.
There's some tissues there, ma'am.
If you need to take a break, please just say stop, okay? And if you ever don't understand my questions, please say so. There's tissue and water for you as well. Can I proceed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you remember how you came to learn about the shooting of Harry Sherer?
Yes.
How?
My mom.
Okay. Where were you living on May 16th of 2004?
On 33rd and Russell. I don't know the exact address.
Who was living with you in that house?
My mom, my sister Marquita, my sister Cynthia, my kids, and little Marvin.
And just so we're clear, when you refer to little Marvin, are you referring to Petitioner Marvin Haynes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So May 16th was on a Sunday. What was a typical Sunday morning like for you in 2004?
I'd wake up and get dressed, get ready for church.
Where did you go to church at the time?
Our Community Missionary Baptist Church.
Did you go to church on most Sundays?
Yes.
Who would usually go to church with you?
Me and my kids, and sometimes my little sister.
Did you go to church on Sunday, May 16th?
Yes, I did.
Who went with you to church?
Me and my kids and Cynthia.
How would you get to church most weekends?
A van to come pick us up.
Did that van pick you up to go to church on May 16th, 2004?
Yes, it did.
When did they pick you up? Do you remember when they picked you up?
Around 10:30.
Was that unusual?
Yes.
Why?
Because church usually, Sunday school usually start at 10, so they usually try to get us before then. So they was late.
So they were running late. Okay. While you were waiting for your ride to show up, to pick you up for church, did you see Marvin?
Yes.
What was Marvin doing?
He was sleeping on the couch.
So you went to church with Cynthia and your kids and you saw Marvin. Did anyone else in your family come over that day?
Yes.
Who?
Marvina.
What happened when Marvina came over?
She was arguing with Marvin about taking some shoes.
So I wanted you to take a step back for a second. And I want you to think about how Marvin spoke back then, okay? How would you describe the way your brother spoke when he was 16 in 2004?
With slang and not very educated.
Did he talk like a kid or an adult?
A kid.
Did he use complete sentences?
No.
Do you know if your brother did well in school at the time?
He wasn't doing that good.
Okay. Now back to May 16th. So after the argument about the shoes, did Marvina stay?
No, she left.
Do you know what Marvin did when Marvina left?
Went in the back to his back room and went to sleep.
Do you know how late Marvin would stay up on the weekends usually?
Yes.
When? How late?
On the weekends, he don't go to sleep till about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
So if he stayed up late on a Saturday, 1 or 2 o'clock, what time would he usually wake up the next day on a Sunday?
About 1 that afternoon to 2.
Would it have been unusual for him to leave the house at 10:30 on a Sunday?
Yes.
11 on a Sunday? Okay. You said previously that you left for church around 10:30.
Yes.
To be fair, you don't know where Marvin was after 10:30 when you left.
No, I do not.
But he was at home when you left at 10:30? Okay, I'm going to skip forward a few days. May 19th, 2004. That was the day Marvin was arrested. The police searched your mother's house on that day too. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
What do you remember from it?
I got a call from my mom because I was down like a couple of houses down at my aunt's house, and she said they picked up Lamar from not going to court.
Were you present when the police were at your mother's house?
No.
Did you ever talk to the police about your brother's case?
No.
Why?
No one ever asked.
If they had interviewed you, what would you have told them?
The same thing I'm telling you guys today.
Okay. And back in 2004, after this happened, did you ever talk to the Star Tribune about your brother's case?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Would it have been in an article, May 21st, 2004? The author, David Shannon, does that sound right to you, maybe?
I don't know. I just know I talked to someone.
Fair enough. What'd you tell them?
And that my brother was at home during that day, and that I heard the whoever did it was very educated, and my brother didn't even know how to spell, or he couldn't talk like that.
Okay. What did you tell? Do you recall what you told them about when you saw your brother that day?
No, I do not.
Okay, that's okay. Have you been saying the whole story this whole time?
Yes.
And I'm just going to end with this. If you believed or knew that your brother committed this crime, what would be your response?
He wouldn't need to do his time for the crime, but I know he didn't because he was at home.
Okay. And to clarify, you know he was at home at 10:30
Yes.
when you left for church?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Okay. Any questions from the state?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Harris.
How you doing?
Good. So I just want to go over a few things. You testified that you were approximately 25 years old at the time,
Yes.
2004? And that you were living at your mother's house at that time?
Yes.
And you attended North Community Missionary Baptist Church, is that
Yes.
correct? And you testified that church service started at 10 a.m.?
Yes.
But that your ride was running late on this particular
Yes.
Sunday? And you testified that your sister Marvina came over that morning as well?
Yes.
What time did Marvina come over?
I don't know the exact time she came over because I was coming downstairs and hearing them argue.
Okay. And where was Marvin and Marvina at that time?
In the front room.
And is that where the couch
Yes.
is? And that's where Mr. Haynes had been sleeping?
Yes.
And then after the argument with Marvina, you testified that Mr. Haynes then moved to the back room, is that correct?
Yes, his room.
So when you left for church, he wasn't on the couch?
No.
But you testified that this May 16th, 2004 was a typical Sunday, is that correct?
No, that's because the church van was late. They usually be on time.
Okay. And was your mother home that day?
I can't remember.
In your affidavit that was filed in conjunction with this petition that we're here on today, you indicated that you expected to testify at your brother's trial, is that correct?
At whose trial?
At Mr. Haynes' trial?
Yes,
Why did you expect to testify?
because they told me I was his lawyer.
His lawyer told you would testify?
Yes, I couldn't go to none of his court hearings because I was supposed to testify.
Okay. So you spoke with Mr. Haynes' attorney,
Yes,
and you told him what you're telling us today,
yes,
but you didn't testify at trial?
no,
You testified that you didn't speak to the police,
no,
and that's because they didn't call you in?
no.
Did you ever consider reaching out to the police yourself?
No, I never thought about that.
Why not?
I don't know. I never thought about it.
Even if you had information that would help your brother?
Well, I thought that's what his lawyer was for.
You testified a little bit about your brother's speech back then.
Yes,
Even if he used slang and, wasn't particularly educated at that time, would you say he was capable of speaking with some clarity if he was talking to, a stranger or trying to be polite?
no,
He wasn't capable of
no,
that?
he was not.
Did you know your brother to be courteous?
Sometimes,
Was your brother ever polite?
sometimes.
No further questions.
Any questions based on those questions?
No further questions. Thank you, Ms. Harris.
All right, thank you, Ms. Harris. You can step down, and again, please watch your step there.
Your Honor, we don't intend to call Ms. Harris again. May she stay in the courtroom for the remainder of the proceedings.
Any objection from the state?